I guess I didn't realize it was a western until after I finished watching. I was like, that was totally a western, like for real. Nonetheless, let's jump into the review of this film right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. Today we're going to be reviewing the film Settlers, which is going to be in theaters and on demand July 23rd, and it also had a screening at this year's Tribeca Film Festival 2021. Yeah, very core, very bare minimum. You can categorize this film as a western, which I am not a fan of. I think the only western that I was just like, God, I love that, was probably Tombstone, maybe? I don't know. Like, there's other ones after that, obviously, that was like okay, but like, yeah, I think Tombstone was the only one I was like, yeah, I really, really like that. But nonetheless, I am a fan of space, and I'm definitely a fan of exploring the world and the idea of living on Mars. And that's what this film was, because you have this family from Earth who are in this settlement on Mars, and they're just trying to figure out, how to manage. At the same time, there's looming dangers, and there's also mystery as to their establishment. So you have this parent couple that are ultimately trying to protect their 9-year-old daughter, Remmy, who is played by Brooklyn Price, who Remmy grows in this film. So at one point she's played by Brooklyn Price, and then she grows older to be played by Nell Free. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. And both of them did a fantastic job. I actually am a little disappointed that we didn't get more time with the younger version, the 9-year-old version, because she was just killing it. And not to say that the older version wasn't, but it's clear that this film wants to do more in the future. And like, this was nothing but just one chapter in the entire saga of things to come. They're definitely looking to do more with this project here, and I'll talk about it in a second. But I don't know, like, something for this film just wasn't clicking for me. I think that I think that, yeah, there was drama there, and I thought the performances was okay, but maybe it's just the idea of what, I don't know, survival looks like on Mars that wasn't clicking for me, because I feel like there was definitely some decisions made that quite didn't sit well with me, and I don't think I would have made the same ones. There was a lack of trust amongst any of the people involved in this. And it's like, well, if you all are just this small establishment here, so why? And then there was obviously questions left unanswered, which I think is because they want to do more going forward. So here's the thing. Let's start with the visuals here. It being on Mars, I thought it looked good. It definitely looked very convincing. The aesthetics and everything looked really well done. So that's number one. Number two, I thought that the performances, I thought everyone, no matter in what capacity, I thought everyone was believable, and I enjoyed each of these characters, except for maybe one character that I was a little bit kind of confused with. Jerry, played by Ismael Cruz Cordova, who basically is this guy that comes to the family settlement and he holds them hostage, which is kind of like, okay, it was a little bit brute force, and it's just like, hey, this is a woman and a little girl. Like, I don't understand why you have to be in the way he was. It was kind of weird, like, to be honest. But again, I think it's because of the whole style of how westerns are done, and I also think because they're still thinking about the next step from here. I will think that. Also think that too, that this film does have elements of like other films. Like, you have this robot who's clearly like the cousin of Wally here, who gravitates towards the little girl Remmy, and it's kind of like, well, are we going to get more from this character? Because it was the robot was introduced in a way that you thought was going to be a really pivotal part of the story, and then it really wasn't. And I think that also we're talking about being on Mars and You know, the fact that they're living on Mars and they're not using masks, and you're just like, okay, what am I missing here? So like, introduce me to technology that makes this make sense. And the robot is an indication of how far we may have come in technology, but then we don't really even get to explore it is to its max capacity here. So it's like half in, half out. It's like, are we advanced or are we not advanced at this time? Like, clearly we at some point where we got people walking around, they don't need oxygen, like they're living freely as if they're living on Earth. You know what I mean? I thought that like that was one of the biggest mysteries about 75% of the film, and then you start to like you start to get answers for that, but still it was like, well, the technology here, talk to us about that. And again, that's what I'm thinking, like, I don't have none of these answers because they're probably holding this for the sequel to this film. So, you know, not to kind of drag the review on a lot, I thought this film did a lot to set a foundation for what they want to do to come, but I also don't think this foundation was strong enough to really interest me for a sequel to the film, because it should have did more in regards to really I guess to interest people to the idea of wanting more. I think the biggest thing to say is that the performances here was just really the best part about it. And the visuals are okay, you know, but like, I think we want a lot more when it comes down to exploring things on Earth. And that's probably why, again, I keep resorting back to the idea that it's a Western, because it's supposed to feel old school and classic, yet we're on Mars, and it's just like, well, we only got on Mars by means of technology and advancement. And it's so like, well, how do we do it, you know? So, you know, some of these things are answered through dialogue. Some of these things are answered through a little bit of a journey that goes on. But again, I don't still think it was like enough to truly keep me invested to want to know what is to come beyond this. So, you know, it is a UK and South African film, and I understand that the dynamics of, you know, doing something for American audience outside of other audiences, the styling is different. But I think that you still got to think overall, since this is a online world premiere, that you want to make sure that it is enough to captivate all audiences here. And I think that it still was just lacking something. So you know, I don't know, this is a film I think I'm gonna check out again. I did get, you know, again, from the abundance of things that I'm watching right now, I did not hate this film. I did not love it. I definitely wanted more, and I don't think I'm invested into want to see another sequel to this, and that's clearly what they're trying to do. But I definitely will probably check it out and kind of, you know, reevaluate this and see my thoughts about it then. So, but yeah, you know, I totally encourage everybody to check this film out, and definitely let me know your thoughts about this film when you do. This is Settlers. Again, it's going to be at Tribeca Film Festival, and then obviously it'll be in theaters and on demand July 23rd. Jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about this film, and as always, folks, stay tuned because we got more reviews coming very soon.